7270 heading south of 1560. We are do our best. 35 your day, south 15. Giant 74 Tango Whiskey, 2.6 for 3000, 140.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, about just under 80 nautical miles from our top descent here, down into Nauru. So we'll go ahead and brief a few things, get the airplane all situated, that sort of thing. First thing we'll do, we'll go ahead and bring up our charts here, and we'll look over the weather. Alright, so weather right now, 070 to 11 knots, 1 kilometer visibility, few clouds, 10 kilometer visibility, few clouds 2000, temperature 312.24, QNH 1010. And that was 49 minutes ago, so it's the same VTOL we had when we departed. Let's go ahead and take a look at our TAF. Alright, current is for 090 at 12, 10 kilometer visibility, few clouds, 2000, temperature 27, 2.30, 130, okay. QNH 1009, 100, 1011, 1010. I see, that's the progression there. So, alright, yeah, we're looking good then. Any current ATIS? We're gonna get lucky. No real ATIS, nothing anywhere else. Alright, so that's that. As you can see here, we're gonna brief our approach. So we'll be coming in, doing the VR DME for runway 12, via this DME 021 Juliet, I think is what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Come out, track the 10 DME arc, and bring it into Osagu, then DME6 FF12, 111, bring it in. It looks like we may have an offset here. Possibly. No, maybe not. Okay, yes, there is no offset. Alright, so we're good to go as far as that's concerned. Our minimums today are going to be 500 feet. So we'll dial that in.
And Nauru 24, turn right, heading 290, vector
500.
for Nauru Airport.
Turn right, heading 290, near Nauru 24.
And this might be a mistake, but we'll actually listen to their vectors. So they want us right to 290. Let's go ahead and try it, see what happens. Alright, back to our briefing here. So that's all set. Come in and do all that. That's not a problem. Alright. That's our approach briefed. Wonderful. We're going to be using flaps 30, so let's get this out of our way here.
And Nauru 24, turn left, heading 250.
They may have no idea what
Turn
they're
left,
doing. We'll see.
heading 250, Air Nauru 24.
It's basically what we were doing before. Just offset a little. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, coming down here, go to our inlet ref, 30, 146, that's fine. We're going to go with auto brakes 3 today. That should give us plenty of stopping power. And if it doesn't, we'll go manual reversion on the brakes, and that'll be that. Well, air's still smooth. We're not quite ready to start down yet, so I'm not worried about putting the seatbelt sign back on. We're not cleared any lower, but when we get cleared lower, we'll go ahead and dial this back down. I'll go ahead and just dial in the VOR.
And Nauru 24, turn left, heading
No.
195.
You're done.
Turn left,
You're
heading
done.
195, Air Nauru 2.
We're gonna go back LNAV. Sorry, try again next time. Yeah, on these long extended legs for vectors, it really just doesn't know what it's doing, period. Which is unfortunate. Alright, our landing altitude set. That's all good. So we'll go ahead and dial in at lower altitude now. Of 1,500 feet. That's the wrong thing. The airplane will automatically start to descend once we reach our top of descent. Oh, it's all the way down to 1,500 feet. There we go, 1,500 feet. That's us completely situated. So I'll come back to you when we start the descent. What's our transition altitude? That's a good question. It's on our VOR, which is 113.0. And our course for that's going to be 111. Alright, as far as transition altitude, it is flight level 130, so we'll go ahead and transition at that. Wonderful. So that's us completely briefed. We're due to start down here. I'll get back to you probably when we just start descent here. We'll go from there. There we go. Our VNAV path just appeared. And airplane's starting down and throttling back. Go ahead and jump on the fasten seatbelt signs. Hear that satisfying ding. And down we go. So that's really about it. Let's see, I think we don't have to do any checklists yet. Well, we'll just do we'll do that when we get to 10,000 feet. So we're good to go, and we'll go back once we're a little closer. Alright, we're approaching 13,000 now, just passing it. So we'll go and reset our QNH to 1010. QNH1010. Wonderful, that is set both sides. And yep, just right down there in the distance, you can see the actual island of Nauru. So we're getting closer. We're actually a little on profile now, a little slow on speed, so we'll pull back in our speed brake. Everything else here seems good. We're down in the 11,000 range, so we're going to get our lights on a little early, that way we don't have to worry about it. We're going to set our ignition switches to continuous, logo light on, blinking light on. While we're at it, we'll go ahead and do our descent or checklists. Alright, descent checklist. So, altimeter's bugged, set cross-checked, VREF, V-target. Our VREF is 146, and our V-target's going to be 150. Auto brake is 3, start switches are continuous, and recall is checked. So that is the descent checklist complete. One thing I'm going to do here is just put in some range rings to help us kind of see a little better. So, excuse me. Put N1 in, or NI in, my bad. Go ahead and fix that in there. /3 /5 /15. Wonderful. Oops. There we go. So now that'll give us some range rings. You know when we need to start decelerating and that sort of thing. So we'll be continuing here shortly. Alright, we're just hitting that 10 dB arc and starting our turn to the right. We'll look to our left here. See the island of Nauru. The airport's right down there. It's a tiny little island. Really puts everything into perspective anyway. So we're going to follow our 10 nautical mile VOR ring around here. And it looks like our final is actually offset. So we will have to be cognizant of that. I'll go ahead and take over manual speed control here. Dial this down to 230. We'll leave it there. Once we hit our decel point here, we'll dial that back even to 180, deploy flaps 5, and continue to slow the aircraft down. We're ever so slightly high on profile, but I got some speed brake out, taking care of that. We should be able to bring that back in here momentarily. Everything else is prepped and ready. Tiny little island in Nauru. It's quite interesting. It's one of those interesting places where I'd like to go IRL just to say I did, you know? It's so interesting. Okay, we're about an hour and 4 minutes into the whole flight here, so pretty quick flight. Looks like we're going to be arriving a little early. Alright, right about there I'll do. We'll go ahead and dial this back to 180 knots. Go ahead and deploy flaps 5. Bring in our speed brake, let the aircraft decel naturally. If for whatever reason it doesn't want it, we'll bring it back out. We'll go back and arm that. Once we start our turn to the left here, that'll be exactly 10 miles. Go ahead and deploy the gear, or drop the gear. And lower our speed to 160. And deploy flaps 15. Then lower it all the way. Actually, we'll just dial the speed all the way down to 160 now. Just preemptively. Make it easier on ourselves. Just as a reminder, our final altitude here, or our minimum altitude here is 500 feet, which should be no problems today. We have wonderful visibility. In fact, I already have the field in sight there. Shows us a little high on profile, but, or the Pappies do, but we got to go out and then back around. So by the time we do complete that turn, we'll be absolutely spiffy. Now let me know what you guys think in the comments about this shorter form content. if you like it. And obviously, I think the numbers might speak for themselves. But, well, we will see. Something a little different I'm trying, you know? Gotta switch it up a little bit. Alright, we're about 2.5 miles from the turn. Getting there lower and more on profile there. You see how, just for perspective, this is like a 7,000 foot runway, right? And it takes up the whole cross section of the island there. So, crazy. Alright, we're starting that turn. And, where are we though? We're starting it momentarily. There we go for the turn. Go ahead and go gear down, flaps 15, speed check, flaps 15. And we'll go and dial this back to our final approach speed. 150. And we'll go flaps 30. Our whole goal is to be, now we did this slightly accelerated. You really want to be fully configured by that 3 nautical mile ring, but we're fine where we're at here. And accidentally overextended the flaps to 40. That's no bueno. We'll get that taken care of. As you can see, we're coming in at an outer angle here. So what we'll probably do is just, once we're stabilized, I'll take over manual control and we'll go completely visual. So everything looks good. All our lights and that are on. So I'm going to go ahead and go. We got the field in sight. My airplane. Checked.
2,500.
And from here on out, we'll just fly it in manually. Once we get a little closer, I'll knock out the autopilot. Or sorry, the auto throttle. So descent rate about 700 feet per minute. That's acceptable. We're at a good intercept angle for the runway center line. A little back trimming, we're getting a little spicy on our rate of descent there. We'll start a shallow turn in. More thrust coming in, so add a little nose down to counter it. A little bit more of a right turn here. Well established now. Descent rate's about 1,000 feet per minute. That's a bit too far. Getting a little low here. Wonderful. It's a better descent rate. Getting a little too low descent rate, so we'll force it manually down a little bit. Looking for about 500 to 700 feet per minute on the descent. Is good descent rate. If it goes over 1,000, that would be considered unstabilized approach criteria and is grounds for a go around. Getting a little low here, so let her decrease her climb rate a little bit. Now we're right back on profile. Aiming for about 700 feet per minute.
Approaching minimums.
Continue. Stabilized.
Minimums.
A little low, a little offset to the right. It's not a big deal.
400.
Getting beat by a little bit of a crosswind here. Counter with a little rudder.
300.
My throttles.
200.
Got a little high there at the end, that's fine.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
There we go. Pull the reversers, let the nose down gently. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there, that's alright. Our reversers are deployed, we got good decel. A little bit of a crosswind there, a little bit sporty, but not overall not too bad. Manual braking, reversers can come in. Welcome to Nauru, ladies and gentlemen. That was not a half bad approach and landing. Random street light off to our left, you gotta love it. It's a really interesting airport for sure. Alright, we'll go and turn around here to the left. Flaps can come up, spoilers can come back in. Airplane's not wanting to turn here. Got a little flickering going on with the landing lights, not sure what that's all about. I have to have maintenance take a look at that. Wonderful. Throttle back up a little bit, get some speed going. Be vacating off to our right up here. Correction, I believe it's off to the left. No, it's off to the right, so over there. Again, welcome to Nauru, ladies and gentlemen. Island in literally the middle of the Pacific. So we'll go ahead and get the APU going. Engine start switches can go to off. OPs can go off. I'm gonna master caution, but that's acceptable. Go ahead and cancel it. Our weather radar was never on, we never needed it, so we don't need to turn that off. Alright, let's go do the after landing checklist. So, where to go? That'll just be the parking checklist. So we'll grab that in a minute once we park. It's about 25 knots. We'll go ahead and throttle back to idle here, let it coast. Not a half bad landing. Alright, we'll go ahead and put our auto brakes to off. It's weird, it should have had a disarm sign, but it never came on. They definitely were disarmed, otherwise we wouldn't be moving right now, so. Something weird with the auto brakes on this airplane. Have to put that into the maintenance log. Or tech log, I should say. Alright, gens are on. We'll leave the APU bleed off until we're stopped and have the engines completely at idle. Alright, we'll go to the second entrance, hit it to the right. Circle around, park in front of the terminal. Or, actually, never mind. I think we go in this way. It's the correct way. Alright, coming in. Landing lights off. Turn offs off. Taxi light can even come off. Strobes can go to off. Or to position, sorry. Wing light off. Oh, we should have gone the other way. That's alright. Just flip around this way and call it good enough. Alright, we'll go ahead and come to a stop right here. Set the parking brake. APU bleed on. Isolation valve open. Dome light can come on. Kill 1, then 2. They're throttling back. Wait to 20% and 2, and then we'll kill the dome light. Or, sorry, kill the beacon light. Seatbelt signs off. Fuel pumps, except for the aft left, go off. Hydraulic pumps can come off. IRSs, we're done for the day, so they can go to off. Now kick off our yaw damper automatically. And we are below 20% N2, so anti-collision light off. Wonderful. And that is us arrived here at Nauru, Nauru. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe. It helps the channel out quite a bit. I'll see you in the next one.